Hello, I'm Greg Solomon. Karma. What do you think of when you hear the word karma? What goes through your head when you hear the word karma? It's bantered about quite frequently in Western society. I've heard it a lot out here on the YouTube community. What does it mean to you? In Western culture, karma basically is thought of as a law of action and in return. If you generate positive action, you will get positive returns. If you generate negative or evil reactions, then you'll get an evil return. The word karma literally means deed or action, and that's essentially karma in its essence. The Vedas, Hindu literature, basically say that the law of karma concerns sowing and reaping. You sow goodness, you reap goodness. You sow evil, you will reap evil. Now, what makes this karma what makes it so in a person's life? What makes it part of a person's life? You can't see it. It's not tangible. It's not something that that you can touch or perceive with your senses. So what makes it real in a person's life? Well, what makes it real in a person's life and what makes it so in a person's life is that that person simply chooses to believe it. Basically because a belief in karma answers a lot of questions. It's a better alternative, some believe, than the alternative of eternal damnation, or alternative of just being dead when you're dead. Karma seems to play into man's sense of fair play. If you do something good, then something good is going to come to you. If you do something bad, then something good or something bad should come to you. So basically, a person just decides he or she is going to believe in karma. However, as I said, it's not a tangible, karma is not a tangible thing. It's not a tangible substance. However, neither is gravity. You can't touch gravity. You can't see it. It's a force. And people who believe in karma would have you believe that it's the same thing. It's a force, a law in the universe, just as gravity is a law in the universe. However, the main difference here is that gravity can be proven. Gravity started out as a theory that was proven. And it's proven empirically. In the scientific community, a theory is, or the validity of a theory, the validity of a premise or a theory is proven or disproven empirically. And I won't go into a lengthy discussion of empiricism. It's what is used in science. You can go out on the internet and do a Google search on empiricism or the empirical method and read very in-depth about it. Basically, for our purposes and intents here, just suffice it to say that the empirical method is, in its essence, in its most simple root form, based on information that is derived from trials and errors. For instance, gravity. You drop a rock off a building or off of a platform, it's going to hit the ground. Regardless of how many times you do it, it's going to hit the ground. There are several experiments you can perform to prove empirically that the force or the law of gravity actually exists. And according to the empirical method, all that's required to disprove a theory logically is one counterexample. For instance, if a man tomorrow should happen to climb up on a platform and drop a rock off and it floated up into the sky, that would tend to throw a wrench into the gears of the law of gravity. It would cause some people to question the law of gravity, and some more research and experiments would have to be done. However, such is not the case. Gravity is a very well-proven theory. It's a fact, basically. It's a law of the universe. And as I said, the persons who believe in karma would have us also believe that it is just as well a law of the universe, a law of sowing and reaping. Well, let's take a look at karma from a logical and empirical standpoint. Let's see if we can use the empirical method to take a look at the law of karma, just like we can use the empirical method to look at the law of gravity, to prove or disprove the law of gravity. As I said, remember, with the empirical method, all that's required to disprove a theory is one counterexample. So according to karma, which is basically the law of sowing and reaping, according to karma, it would stand and would follow that if you do good, you're going to reap good. If you do evil, you're going to reap evil. Well, let's see if we can find a counterexample where someone actually did evil but didn't reap evil. And for our counterexample, let's take a look at the world of organized crime. Specifically, let's take a look at the life of an individual named Carlo Gambino. Mr. Gambino was performing hits for the mafia while he was still a teenager. He became a made mafia man, a full-fledged member of the mafia, at the age of 19. He rose through the ranks and became godfather of the Gambino family. That's where the name Gambino family comes from. It comes from Carlo Gambino. He was godfather, the head of the Gambino crime family. If you will study up on it, you'll find that Carlo Gambino was one of the most treacherous and feared of all mafia bosses, even though he looked quite mild-mannered. He was a man who did not suffer fools gladly. He was responsible for a lot of, shall we say, enforcement in the mafia. He was in the mafia for 55 years out of his life. 55 years. 20 of those years he spent as the boss of his family, as godfather of the Gambino crime family. I'm coming up to the 10-minute limit on this video clip. I'm going to go ahead and record another video clip and install this in 2 parts.